Hello, Crime Time listeners. This is the story of Robert Benjamin Rhodes. Robert Benjamin Rhodes is an American serial killer and rapist. Robert Rhodes was born in Council Bluffs, Iowa in 1945, which would make him 77 as of 2023. He was born in a pretty normal household, if there is such a thing. He was raised by both his mother and his father. His span of crimes ranges from about 1975 to around 1990. His range of victims is between 4 and 50 plus victims. They call him the truck stop killer. Before we dig too much into any crimes, we'll talk a little bit about his early life and his formative years. By all accounts, they were mostly normal. He was raised by his mother and his father. He participated in sports like wrestling, French club. He went to school. He did choir. However, at age 16, he was charged with tampering with a vehicle, and he had one other arrest for public fighting in 1962 when he was 17. When he graduated from high school, he decided he wanted to also join the Marine Corps, like his father, who was in the Army and was discharged after going and serving his country in Germany. After his father came home from Germany, he decided he wanted to find work as a firefighter. And by all accounts, his father was an upstanding member of society. When Rhodes joined the military and went to the Marine Corps, his father was arrested for molesting a 12-year-old girl. At this time, it is said that this devastated the family. He wouldn't have been able to earn any money, and his wife wasn't working. It's also said that the father looked at women like they weren't supposed to work. He was the breadwinner. At this time, though, I don't want to say that that was any different than a lot of other men in that same era. So I don't want to say that that was odd. His father committed suicide while awaiting trial. A few years later, around 1967, maybe 1968, Rhodes got dishonorably discharged from the military because he got involved in a robbery. After he was dishonorably discharged from the Marines, he went to college, thought he would try his luck at school, but nope, he dropped out. Then he said, I think I want to try to be a cop. And that didn't work out either. He was rejected because of his dishonorable discharge from the Marines. And then throughout the 70s and 80s, he got married a couple times, even having a son with his first wife. And he subsequently found work in different places, stores, supermarkets, warehouses, shipping, receiving, restaurants. And eventually, he settled on what we know him now as a long-haul trucker. And during the 80s, he had different interests and hobbies. Maybe some might call fetishes, involving BDSM. It was also during this time that we have records where he allegedly verbally, physically, and sexually abused his third wife, Deborah Rhodes. Here's an interview she gave.
When I first met Bob, this is pretty much the way he looked. And it's not what I see, it's what it makes me angry. I never thought I was capable of hating someone. Everything comes back, the anger, the rage, the pain comes back. And I hate the fact that it's never going to go away. It's always going to be there. No matter how much I scream or how much I cry, it's never going to go away, or it's never going to be enough to go away. And I know it's useless to ask why. And I know I'm not going to get an answer. But it's a question I have to ask.
What we know about Robert Rhodes is that he preyed on hitchhikers and truck stop sex workers. And we know it started in the 1970s. His first confirmed victims were Patricia Candace Walsh and her husband, Douglas Zukowski, in January 1990. The couple were hitchhiking when Rhodes picked them up in his truck while on a long-haul journey. He immediately killed Zukowski and dumped his body in Texas. He was not identified until 92. The thing that made him so scary and what makes him stick out in my mind is he would keep his victims for weeks, playing with them. We know that he kept Walsh for over a week. And what makes him really scary is he would take pictures of them. It looks to me like he cut Walsh's hair and made her do some poses before he took pictures of her. He tortured and raped her numerous times before killing her and dumping her body in Utah. Almost a month after their death, he then abducted an 18-year-old, Shanna Holtz. She escaped, and she informed the police. When Rhodes was detained, the wild thing is, the victim walked right up to him. The police said she wouldn't even look right straight at him. She just would look at the ground in front of him as he stared her down, and she would not identify him. She declined to press charges. She said that she felt she wouldn't be believed. Later, she said she was scared to death. He would take women into his sleeper cab of his truck, and he had basically converted it into a torture chamber where he would keep women, sometimes for weeks, torturing and raping them. Regina K. Walters, who was 14 years old, was found nude and badly decomposed on September 29, 1990, in the loft of an abandoned barn near Greenville. She had been missing since February 3, 1990, when she ran away from her home in Pasadena with her boyfriend, Ricky Lee Jones, who was 20. An autopsy revealed she had been strangled to death. Sometime in early March, a photograph of her being tortured was found in Rhodes' home. On May 26, 1990, the skeleton of Ricky Lee Jones, the boyfriend, was found near Harleton. He had been shot in the head. In the early morning of April 1, 1990, Trooper Mike Miller of the Arizona Highway Patrol found a truck with its hazard lights on the side of the road near Casa Grande, Arizona. When he walked up and investigated inside the cab and peeked inside with his flashlight, he saw a nude woman sitting there, screaming and handcuffed. There was also a man who walked up and put his hands up, flailing, and tried to talk his way out of the situation. Rhodes said, "Hey, just so you know, I have a gun. It's okay. We're just having sex." He was arrested and charged with aggravated sexual assault and unlawful imprisonment. He was left handcuffed in Miller's patrol car. However, when Miller went back to let the woman loose and tell her it's okay, as she cried and screamed and thanked God as she knew she was going to be killed, when he walked back to his car, Rhodes had worked his handcuffs to the front of his body and had a handcuff key or some kind of sharp object and was just about to get loose and escape. After further investigation, the arresting detective, Rick Barnhart, was able to make a connection to the Houston case and noticed a pattern stretching over the course of at least 5 months. In executing a search warrant for Rhodes' home, they found photos of a nude teenager who was identified as Walters, whose body was found in September 1990. Also present were photos of Walsh, whose body had been discovered that October. Rhodes is believed to have killed more than 50 or at least 50 women. He had been a truck driver for such a long time, and during this time, women were coming up missing. A lot of bodies have not been found. In 1994, he was convicted of the first-degree murder of Regina K. Walters and sentenced to life without parole at Menard Correctional Center in Illinois.
I can remember the night we met. My girlfriend and I, we'd go out to the bar to go dancing and meet our friends and have fun. And this guy in a private uniform came up to me and kind of impressed because he was in the pilot chute. Been through everything. And that's when I found his driver's license. His name was not really Dusty Rhodes. It was Robert Ben Rhodes. I was kind of surprised. I didn't understand why he wasn't going by his real name.
He was then extradited to Utah to be tried for the deaths of Candace Walsh and Douglas Zukowski. However, the victim's family asked the charges to be dropped so that they would not have to testify more than once in both states. He was extradited then to Texas to face more charges. And in exchange for dropping the death penalty, he pled guilty to other charges to get a second life sentence. It's believed that he murdered other women, and truthfully, we may not know how many women he killed, because as a truck driver, he has access to a lot of women and a lot of people. And to this day, we don't know. We do know that he's a sick SOB, and he's where he belongs, behind bars. This has been Crime Time. Thank you for listening. I also just want to thank all of you who listen to my channel and who have supported me while I make videos, and let me know if you like this video, if you like the court videos, what kind of videos you want me to keep doing. Definitely love doing court videos, so I'm going to keep doing those. But I also love true crime, so you're probably going to see a mix of both. So take care and thank you.